Hi, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Cody the Writer, and today we are starting our read-through of Draft. And today we are starting our read-through of Draft 3. As you know from that community post, I spent the first 10 days, I guess 9 days technically, of December just resting, recouping, recharging after fast drafting project terms and conditions in November during the November writing challenge. And I have taken these 9 days off. I have spent time with family. Today is currently Tuesday, December the 10th. So the plan is to hopefully get through reading this entire Draft 3. I do have it right in front of me. It is printed. It does look like a book. I can't show you because it does have the real front cover on it. And so no spoilers, but what I can show you is something that I have that I've sort of been implementing into this process. So, back in, was it October? Yeah, back in October, I sent this Draft 3 over to my critique partners, and they left some overall feedback. And so what I did was I took all of their feedback and I broke it up into like a little chart. I don't know how much of that you can actually see. Hopefully not too much because there are spoilers on it. But basically the first column is Act 1, second column is Act 2, and the third column is Act 3. So these are the things that I'm kind of like, these are the things that need to sort of be plugged in or taken out. And so what I'm doing right now is referencing this list and taking the notes on the actual physical copy. So I know exactly like what chapter I need to go to plug in or take away certain information or weave more through. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the plan. And so in my copy, there are like 368 pages, and it's like that because of the way I formatted it, because there's large margins, it's, double spaced. So just so I had enough room to write all my notes and things. But in this version, there is 368 pages. And the goal is to be done with the read through by the end of day Thursday. So if today's Tuesday, we have 3 days to complete this. And that takes us to about 120 to 123 pages a day. I did get a little bit of a head start while I was at work. I'm currently on page 39, so I have less than 100 pages. We're going to go ahead and knock that out right now. I have a live stream literally in 1 minute. And yeah, come along with me as we read the first third of Draft 3 for Project GWC. Alrighty, friends, we just finished up our stream. It was very nice, very productive, and I was able to get through all 120 some odd pages that I needed to get through. I am now on chapter 11, page 121. Technically, I'm supposed to read like 2 more pages, but I don't want to have to stop in the middle of a chapter because that just feels wrong to me. I don't know, but something that is really satisfying. I was showing the live stream, but I'll show you too. I gotta hold it far away so you don't see it. But as you can see, all of my Act 1 stuff has been crossed out, which means that it has been transferred from this page somewhere into my printed draft. So that is very exciting. And yeah, we're making great progress. I was talking about it on the stream, but I was really worried as to how this process was going to go. And I was also kind of like dreading it because I was just like, I feel like this is Draft 3. I've gone through 3 iterations of this project, and I don't know. Revision is difficult for me sometimes because the whole point of revision is to fix all the things that need to be fixed. And so the first stage of that is this like phase of like marking everything up, taking all the notes. And within that process, 98% of the things that you mark up are things that are wrong, the things that need to be improved or need to be fixed. And so with this particular read-through process, I'm making it a point to also highlight some of the things that I feel like I did well. Every now and again, I'll find a really good line and I'll like mark it up. I'll put a little star by it and say, slay queen or great line, you know, just something to make myself feel good and while I am in the process of ripping my own book to shreds. I mean, hold on, let me see if I can find the page that I showed on stream. I think it was in chapter 7. If you can see all of the red marks on these pages. I feel like the first couple times that I did like new drafts of this or like read throughs, I feel like I didn't wait long enough because I think the first draft that I finished, I waited like maybe 3 weeks before I did my next read through. But with this particular draft, because of the way everything fell, it was with my critique partners all of October. So I wasn't looking at it over that month. I mean, they were giving me their feedback and we were talking about it, but I wasn't actually looking at the text. And then in November, obviously, you know, we were drafting a whole other story. So I was also not looking at this project. And so, I mean, it's been 2 full months plus like 9 days of me not looking at this project. And I have to say, like, reading through it, I feel so much more separated from it. And I feel like I'm better equipped than I was after the first draft I ever wrote to give good feedback because I've been able to practice a little bit. I mean, being a critique partner for Alyssa, I was able to read through all of her stuff and kind of go into it blind and give feedback. I'm doing the same thing now for Taylor Ann Wright with the Venture series. I've read the first book. I gave some feedback on it to her. And then I'm going to be later this weekend reading the second book and providing feedback as well. So I feel like doing that process now, going on the third time, it's a lot easier to apply to my own work, if that makes sense. And also because it has been so long since I've actually looked at this feels like almost like someone else's writing. It doesn't feel like, I mean, it feels like my writing, but I'm so separated from it that I'm kind of able to go into it without bias and without any kind of like strong emotional connection to it because I've been so separated for so long. But yeah, that's the update. I am going to go hang out in the living room, turn my brain off, watch a little reality TV till it's time for bed, and I will check back in with you guys tomorrow. Hi, hello, welcome to Wednesday, and welcome to the floor of my living room. Now, so it's so funny that I'm saying happy Wednesday, welcome to Wednesday, whatever I just said, when it's literally already like pitch black dark outside. It is 7 p.m. Hello, we're back home. Obviously, you saw some clips before this from while I was at work, and I actually kind of want to talk about a couple things, but before I do that, you're probably wondering, Cody, why are you on the floor? Well, I just got a box that has one of those like soft box light things that I'm going to be using for our live stream tonight. And our live stream is in like, we're all going to be on there in about like 40 minutes. I didn't get a clip of it, but Natalie and Taylor were actually live today. I didn't get to do very much of anything during their live because of course, as it always goes when I'm at work, as soon as someone's going live or as soon as like this, or as soon as it's almost time to start a sprint, someone needs me, they come into my office, they call me, whatever, and I end up not being able to read or write at all. So, it's fine. Didn't get a lot done on there, but I did start watching Brandon Sanderson's lecture series on YouTube that basically just talks about, it's basically like a college course that he teaches, like I guess like once a week or something, because there's 13 or 14 lectures on there, but it takes you through like all the aspects of writing, specifically for science fiction and fantasy. I've seen it around the internet here and there, but I heard Taylor Ann Wright talk about it in her vlog that premiered today. And it got me interested because if you know, it's this whole like free lecture course, a free resource on YouTube surrounding science fiction and fantasy, why don't I, you know, watch it, take some notes, see if, you know, what I can learn from it. At the end of the day, even if I learn like 1 or 2 things from this whole thing, then it's worth it because I learned something, you know? You're probably thinking like, Cody, you write thrillers. Why are you watching a lecture series specifically surrounding science fiction and fantasy? Well, I'm a bit all over the place, as most of you know. This is cute. Okay. Also, me just trying to talk and I have not looked at a lick of instructions. Were there even instructions? Seems easy enough. He says with a lot of confidence. But anyway, so yeah, I have been toying around with the idea, and I've already kind of like hinted at this, and I've already hinted at this in some of my live streams that I do. But after writing these two thrillers that I've written, the first one, if you don't know, the first book that I'm currently revising right now is a mystery thriller, and the one that I just finished fast drafting for November was a fantasy thriller. So, with that said, I'm kind of ready to branch out a little bit, I feel. And I am wanting to dive into the realm of fantasy next, which is interesting. I've just been in a mood, especially after writing these two books, just probably because they both deal with just like dark subject matter. Spending all this time surrounded by dark subject matter, after so long, it kind of takes a little bit of a toll on you. And I have recently found myself craving things that are like light in content or are like warm and cozy. They have like a feel-good vibe to it. And I feel like that's where I want to kind of enter the drafting phase next, I guess. But yeah, the story, I've kind of alluded to it as Project Purple, is a story that it's basically the story of like my heart. It's the story that was probably like the first full like plot idea that came to my mind that has been living in my brain rent-free for, gosh, probably like 15 years at this point. And now that I have these first two books under my belt, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of story structure, or at least a better sense than I did before I wrote my first book. And so I feel like, because this fantasy story is definitely going to be a series, and so I feel like I needed to have at least a couple standalones under my belt before I could even think about tackling a series. And that is why I'm going to continue to watch through this Brandon Sanderson lecture series. The other thing that I showed you was that, back to this project, after was all said and done and I was kind of able to finish getting my work done for the day, I did use the last like hour of work to do some reading so I could just, get a little head start on what I needed to do tonight before the stream. And we got up to page 210, and our end goal is page 245. So we have like 35 pages left to read tonight, which I think is absolutely doable because we will be streaming for 2 hours. So I think that's going to work great. But I was looking at some of the notes that I have on my little sheet that I use, my little fun sheet, and I was having trouble figuring out a way to implement some of the feedback that I really liked, but I was having trouble making it click within the story as it currently was. And so I called up Alyssa because she has in fact read this story, and we kind of were able to work through some things, and I was able to take some very like crazy notes at the bottom of this paper, just so that whenever I get to the end of the book, I can remember what we talked about and have it right there. Look, I know it's only been like 2 seconds for you, but it's been like 20 minutes for me, and I just need to rant for a minute because like, okay, we got the light set up. That's what's lighting me right now. It's very bright, very lovely. And it came with all the great, all the parts. It was just a stand, the light bulb, the little box thing, and then the cover. And then it even comes with a cute little remote. And out of all the things they put in this package, do you think they put 2 AAA batteries in the box? No, they did not. And I double checked all the packaging, all the box, the floor, everything. There was not a pack of AAAs included. So I went to my local Walgreens to get some batteries because while I like this light, if I'm, wanting to emulate like daytime or something, for right now, just because it's so close to me, I would like it to be a little less bright and maybe a little warmer. So yeah, and the only way that you can control those settings is with the remote that is batteryless. Hi friends, we just finished a stream. It is currently 10:03 p.m. and I'm very tired. But the stream went really well. We had a lot of fun. It was great to hang out with some friends on the stream. I got to meet Mick's library, Michaela. She was lovely. Got to meet her. But yeah, we got a lot of progress done. We actually ended up going past the section that we needed to read through. So we got a little bit of a head start on our pages for tomorrow. We got up to page 298. So we're basically like right around page 300. And there's 368 pages, and so that actually works out perfect. I kind of got stuck because I am basically, like I was mentioning to you earlier when I talked on the phone with Alyssa while I was at work, I'm trying to restructure the end of this book to make sure that everything works out, but also keep the punchy ending. But I want to end it in a slightly different way, and it's just making all the pieces click together and still make sense has been a bit of a challenge. So we did 2 30-minute sprints. The first one was me, I was making good headway. And then the place where I stopped is right before all of the finale stuff kind of really starts kicking into high gear. And so, I don't know, I gotta figure out how to make all these pieces click and how to make all these scenes work, but also I feel like I'm detached enough from this that if I do end up having to just like delete whole scenes, then it's not going to be a big deal. I'm not going to I'm not going to cry about it or anything. I'm not going to be upset about it. Yeah, that's kind of where we ended the stream. And I'm hoping that tomorrow while I'm at work, just doing my normal work tasks and all that good stuff, that maybe something I'll just it'll be playing on in the back of my mind. It'll be kind of working itself out back there. And maybe something will click. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see tomorrow, but we do have one more full evening of getting through this draft and getting all of our notes put in there. So yeah, today was a good day. I made a lot of great progress, and I'm excited to finish this read through tomorrow. I am going to go and break down this tower of boxes by our door because we had our family Christmas this past weekend, as you saw from my community post. And we have a whole bunch of just like empty boxes from all the like random Christmas presents and stuff. Just propped up against the door. So I need to go and break those down and take those down to the dumpster because our trash runs tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go to bed and I will talk to you tomorrow. Hi Bessies and welcome to Thursday. We're here in the office. We got off work about 2 hours ago. It is currently 6:45 p.m. And yeah, we're here in the office. We are about to be sitting down to finish our read through of Project GWC and finish adding in all of our notes. I don't quite know how I want to rearrange things. And I kind of was thinking about it today while I was at work doing my, normal work things. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, Cody, why don't you just wait until tonight when you actually read it? Because once you actually read it, maybe the idea will come to you. And so that's what we're going to hope for. Okay, but before we get into our final little reading sesh, I have a fun little haul to show you because I did end up going by Books A Million after work. So if you saw my community post and you voted on whether or not I should read Wicked, well, I needed to buy the Wicked book first because I have talked extensively in videos and live streams about how fantastic the movie was. I mean, it's basically perfect in my opinion. But as many times as I've seen the Broadway show, and I've seen the movie twice now, probably going to see it a third time this weekend, I have never actually read the book. I've heard things about the book. I know that it is darker. It is a little more, how do you say, adult. Even if you just know the Broadway version of the show, you know that it's not it's not necessarily a happy story. But apparently in the book, it is kicked up a few notches. So I'm really just excited to read it and compare it to, what I already know about the story of Wicked and just see how much more story there is, in between all the little moments that maybe didn't make it to the stage or the movie. And granted, we only have part 1 of the movie, so I'd be interested to see if any of the stuff from here makes it into part 2 of the movie that wasn't in Act 2 of the Broadway musical. So, and really intrigued to find out. And honestly, I was going to buy this and read it anyways. And there's the community post that I posted today was just me asking if you guys would be interested in just seeing my live reaction, do a little reading vlog, just so I can share my thoughts as I'm going along and I'll try. It'll be like probably as spoiler free as possible, unless you want spoilers. I don't know. Also, because I was like a Barnes and Noble member, they gave me some book plates, and they have like all these cute things. Like it says like, I don't know if you can really read that, but it's like from the library of, and I would like put my name and like stick it inside the book. Like I think that's so cute, and I got it for free. And I also got this really beautiful bookmark. One thing about me is I love a pretty bookmark. And this one is, I mean, just look at her. She's blue and gold and reflective. And the quote on it says, "Your task is not to foresee the future, but to enable it." I mentioned in the clip yesterday that I'm interested in like writing the fantasy series that I want, and one of the big imagery things in it is the sun, moon, and stars, and so this has all of those on it, and I was like, I mean, hello. It just like jumped out at me. I had to get it, so I got it. But yeah, that is all of the things that I got from the Barnes & Noble. It is now time for me to buckle down, finish these last 60 some odd pages of this book, and finish this read through for you all right now. Everyone, please ignore how crazy my hair looks, but it is currently almost 8 o'clock. I have been sitting here and pondering this ending, and y'all, I think I cracked it. I did in fact send Alyssa a voice message because she has read the ending of this book. And so I sent her like a 2-minute long like ramble of like kind of like what my idea was for the ending. But once I like actually like wrote all the details of it out, it's actually just, in my opinion, a much more dynamic ending, as well as a little bit, it's got a little more punch to it, and I really like it. And I hope Alyssa likes it too. I'll let you know somewhere at the bottom of the screen what Alyssa ends up saying, if she gave it a thumbs up, thumbs down, if we're going to go with it, if we're not. But I am very happy with it. And I think that it's going to be really fun to take what I know now, like what I know now about the new ending, and kind of start weaving some of that into some of the previous chapters. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And also there's so many moments throughout the story where I was like, ooh, you could maybe add like a little mini scene here. Like I feel like there's so much new stuff that I get to. And I say so much, it might be like throughout the whole book, I had the thought of adding like maybe 4 or 5 new scenes. And they're all kind of like spread out throughout the book. I think it'll be really fun once I actually start working my way in the actual document, like on the computer from start to finish, to like, you know, get into like revision mode where I'm mostly doing like line things or like changing a little piece of dialogue to where I get to kind of like take a break from that analytical stuff and kind of just have fun drafting a new scene and seeing what unfolds, and really just getting to flesh out some of these chapters. I'm really excited about it. Before we started our stream last night, I was just talking to the group about how this round of revision feels so much more like fun. I took such a long break from this book. I took over 2 months, like almost 2.5 months if you really add it up. And I feel like that time away really gave me the separation that I needed, like the emotional separation. And so even though I was going through this entire book and I was like, and I was marking it all up in red pen of all these things that I want to add or fix or tweak, none of it felt personal, which is funny to say because I'm the one editing my own book. Even sometimes when you're editing your own book, it can feel like the more things that you find to correct, it's really easy for you to get into your own head and tell yourself that you're a bad writer, or, this will never get better. Your writing will never get better. This scene will never be improved. You're wasting your time. All those negative thoughts can creep in even when you're critiquing your own work. And I've just found that going through this most recent read through and going through this draft, that none of it, I was in a good headspace the whole time. And I'd even go as far to say that I was excited to be finding all of these things. I felt more excited by the potential of the story than I felt defeated by the current state of the story. And maybe that just comes with repetition. Maybe that just is because this was my like 4th, 5th time reading this story, and I can look at it for what it is. But that is going to wrap up this vlog. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment to let me know how your December has been going. Mine has been slow, easy going, and I have absolutely loved every minute of it. My next goal is, I'm actually traveling to my parents this weekend, so my next goal is going to be finishing my read-through of Taylor Ann Wright's second book, Venture Beyond, the second book in the Venture series, and giving her all of her feedback because that is due to her by December the 16th. So while we're traveling, while I'm visiting with my parents, I'll be doing some reading and giving some feedback, and then whenever I get back here on Monday, it is time to open that document and get through these revisions because we are on a deadline. We have to get this done by January 10th. My goal is to have all of the developmental stuff in maybe like the next 2 weeks, maybe by the end of December. That way in January, I can do one more full read through, make any like line tweaks that I want to make. And January 10th, it is no longer in my hands. It is in the hands of a professional and someone that is going to make it better than it already is. And I'm so excited about the potential in all of these upcoming drafts of the story because I know that with each draft, this story is going to get more complex. The overall quality of the words on the page are going to improve. And I'm so excited to see the final product of this story that I've been working on for so long and that you all have been watching me work on for so long. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!